Hello, welcome to my fourth video about the Lyra Viol. First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to Nicholas Milne, who played so graciously with me on this video and warmed me up with his big fire. Nick is a good friend and viol player living in the Netherlands who is also a little bit nutty about the Lyra Viol. Now then. Alfonso Ferrabosco the Younger was born in London in 1575, and when he was just 3 years old, his parents abandoned him and his baby sister to go on a trip to Italy. His parents were probably spies. He was seemingly well looked after by a member of the Queen's flute consort, and one theory is that Queen Elizabeth insisted the children remain behind as a guarantee of the parents' return from the continent. The young Alfonso spent his life in close proximity to the English royal family, in his teens earning an income as a musician for the Viols, and later, around 1604, as an extraordinary groom of the Privy Chamber. This meant that he had access to the private quarters of the young Prince Henry in order to give him lessons on the viol. We can easily imagine that some of the music we just heard was composed by Ferrabosco to play together with the young prince in his lessons. The Almaine Coranto are taken from Ferrabosco's lessons for 1, 2 and 3 viols published in 1609, which was the earliest publication of music purely for the Lyra Viol. Music tuition aside, Ferrabosco also collaborated with other artists on masks at court and in other places like the Globe Theatre, most notably with the poet Ben Jonson, who was also a good friend of William Shakespeare. We get a whiff of a scandal when we read the preface to Ferrabosco's 1609 lessons. It seems that other musicians had been cheekily playing Ferrabosco's music and claiming it for their own. To set the record straight, the only option was to publish his compositions, which he referred to as his own children.
But, as it is the error and misfortune of young children, oftentimes to stray and losing their dwellings be taken up by strangers, and there be loved and owned, I had been a most unnatural father if I had not corrected such impudence, and by a public declaration of them to be mine.
It's kind of ironic, given his own upbringing. And even on the same page, a poem dedicated by Ben Jonson finishes, "For fame, with breath soon kindled, soon blown out." The repeats of each section have divisions for both viols. I made the divisions myself and had a lot of fun writing them out in tablature, which is something I don't normally do. We find many pieces for Lyra Viol with written out variations, although it tends to happen more frequently in manuscripts than in prints. We actually see very similar variation repeats in French and German music for the viol. Think about Maret's doublers, for instance. But we see from the Lyra tradition that it was very much something done by both amateurs and professionals on existing compositions. So if you have a favourite Lyra Viol piece, or even a Maret dance movement, go ahead and make your own variations on it. Thanks for watching, like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.